2024 is coming to a close, and the comic book world is ending the year with a bang. The Absolute Universe continues to dominate, proving it's the strongest new line of the year. Krypto and Jeff the Shark remain the top tier pets fans can't get enough of. 2025 hasn't even started, but one superstar artist has a book already breaking into the top 10. Get ready for the countdown as we dive into the top trending comics for the final day of 2024. Let's close this chapter and kickstart the new year in style. It's the Comic Book Heat Index. We're going to talk about the top trending comic books this week. There's some repeats, but there's some newbies in this list. You guys already know how this list works. If this is the first time you're watching this list, I take a combined top 10 list from Key Collector, CBSI, and Cover Price. I put them together. I also include the sales increase, so I base it off of the 30-day sales numbers, as well as hype and the fair market value of the book. This week, Key Collector did not release a trending list. So we're only basing it off of Cover Price and the CBSI top 10 list. And we ended up getting the list that we have today, which is still a pretty good list.
I kept checking. They didn't update it. It's strange.
They didn't update it at all. And it's, you would figure they would have had it by now. And they usually do. They usually have it by like Sunday, the latest. But this time it didn't happen. Okay. Let's go ahead and find out who's number 10. It's the Hulk. Number 1 came out 2008 from Marvel Comics. This book is at last sale was $85. Fair market value of this book is $77. 9.8 is going for about $296. As I mentioned before, Key Collector did not give a list this week. CBSI, it was number 8 on their list. It was number 14 in Cover Price. Sales volume is at 36% increase. I'm going to say the hype level is a medium because we're not just there yet. I think in February, that medium is going to turn into a high once Captain America movie comes out.
Especially if it comes out and it's good, like it's a good character, it's a good movie, then everybody that's kind of sitting on, like I have this book, it's in my pile to go for grading. And I would part with it, but I would part with it at the right time. So
this is one of those rare occasions where this is a cameo versus a full first appearance. The first full appearance is issue 2, which doesn't go as much as this one. This is the rare occasion where the cover outperforms the actual appearance. And yeah. I've had this conversation before.
You've got a number 1 issue. You've got an awesome cover. It's a good cameo appearance. Let everybody argue if it's cameo or not. I can't remember exactly how many panels he's in, but the market kind of has decided, like you said, this is the one to get.
Yeah. I'm happy I have my cover. I have mine signed by Jeff Loeb. It's not graded, so I do plan on shipping it out. I also have issue 2, and I have that signed by Jeff, and that's been graded. It's sitting with CGC right now. They're just waiting to send it out to me. So who knows when I'm going to get it. I'm pretty sure I'll get it in 2025 now. So the Hulk number 1, that is at number 10. Let's take a look at what's number 9 in our list. A book that was in the list last week is still on the list. Captain America 180. This book came out way back in 1974 from Marvel. Fair market value of this book is $36. 9.4 is going for $237. It last sold for $25. Number 5 on CBSI, and that's really the only list that it's on. The reason why it's in number 9 is really the sales volume is increased 82%, and the hype level is medium. This is Captain America spec. The difference between this one and the Hulk is this has more to do with Steve Rogers and what's the expectation of who he's going to be. In this one, we have Steve Rogers turning into No Man.
Yeah, this is one of those books for me that I kind of just I don't have any real interest in picking it up or trying to track it down. I don't think that the longevity is there on it.
I totally agree with you on that one. I don't see a Nomad story happening right now. Especially since we're trying to pick up Falcon as becoming the new Captain America, and I think they're failing miserably on that, especially now that they've mentioned Steve Rogers is returning to some capacity.
For sure.
That should have been tight-lipped. They should have not said a thing. They have the means to keep it quiet. However, they wanted to share that information. They want to let people know that proceed with caution for this one.
Yes.
That's my take on this. Let's take a look at the book that falls under number 8, and that is DC All In Special number 1. This book came out not that long ago, just a couple of months ago. The book is ranging about $5-6, and 9.8 is going for about $90. Well, 9.8s are out. It is trending list number 13 in cover price. This actually has a high sell value of 188%, which brings its hype level to a high.
Yeah, as more people kind of get involved in the absolute universe, all that stuff with all those books coming out, I just filled out my previews, and there's so many. You got Flash, Green Lantern, Green Arrow, all that. People are starting to look back. Okay, where did all this come from? Where are their first appearances? And it's that book.
Well, this was a sleeper, right? When it came out, people didn't go crazy to pick this up. They went to pick it up after Absolute Batman was a hit. And then they started saying, oh, this book is important. Now, it's still relatively inexpensive. It's not an expensive book to pick up. No. You know, $5, $6. I want to say you'll probably find it for more like $10 out there. So if you do find it for $5, grab it.
Yeah, it's a modern DC book, so I don't think that the value is going to go too crazy high on it. But it is good to have if you like the Absolute Universe and you kind of want to see where it started. I would pick it up.
That's number 8. Let's take a look at what's number 7 on our list. Deadly Tales of the Gunslinger Spawn, number 1, the Todd McFarlane 1 in 50 black and white variant. This book was in our list last week. This book is brand new. So there's but look at the last recorded sale. It's actually increased almost $100 from its last week's number. So last week's number was about 150. Now the last sold was $251, and the fair market value of this book is at $225. There's no reported slabs. It's a new book. It's number 6 on CBSI. It's number 2 on cover price. The sales volume has increased 30%. I'm going to put it as a medium hype for this book because, again, it's about Todd McFarlane cover. It's Spawn. It's a ratio. It's a 1 in 50 incentive. So there's a lot of things that put it in there. I think the people that really want this book are still hunting it down. Once those people pick it up, that Spawn crowd, you know, the people that love Spawn, once they have it, you're not going to see this book in that list anymore.
I mentioned it last time we talked about this. I'll just show it quick. People that are looking for a McFarlane, like black and white cover that you can get at a cover price, that Knights versus Samurai is still out on the stands. I just picked that one up as a second copy. So it's not a ratio or anything like that. But if you like the black and white, you like the Todd Father, it's a great book.
He's drawing a horse.
Yeah.
And it looks great.
Yes.
It looks really good. Let's take a look at number 6 in our list. And number 6 is Absolute Wonder Woman number 1. Another book that came out not that long ago. This book is going for about $4, $14. So someone actually picked up this book at a really good price because the fair market value is $14. 9.8 is $57, which I think is really low for 9.8. Number 6 on cover price. That's all it's at. Sales volume's at 151%. Hype level is at a medium. I do believe that Absolute is starting to get a little, not diluted, but it's starting to cool down a little bit, if that makes any sense.
That the dilution will start once the next wave of books hits. I think that'll have a big effect on it. But I flipped through. I haven't read it yet. It's next in my pile. But the art is still really strong in this book. And I really like the stories. So I get why it's still in the list. Like it's a good book.
Well, Hayden Sherman did the art, the interior art in this book. He actually did this cover as well. His art is fantastic. We're going to look at something of his later when we talk about Creator Spotlight that he's done. But the work here he's done is really good. He's doing some more things with DC. And so he is definitely an artist to look out for 2025.
Yeah, and I think that the issue that's in previews now to order, it's a cover by them, and it's awesome. Like, it's one of the best A covers I've seen in a while, so I'll definitely be picking that one up.
Let's take a look at number 5 on our list. Absolute Batman number 1. We had Absolute Wonder Woman. Now we got Absolute. Isn't it funny how they all seem to trickle next to each other? But
yeah,
Absolute Batman number 1, $31 was the last recorded sale. $36, it's what it's going for fair market. 9.8s are just shy of $100. Number 15 in cover price. However, it's number 5 because it is still outperforming everybody even today. 308% sales volume. This book just won't stop selling. The hype level right now, as I mentioned before, is going at a medium because even though it's at 300% sales volume, people are starting to say, okay, I get it.
Yeah. How many prints do you think DC will do of this book, Izzy? What's your over under? Like, what's your top end?
So right now, Transformers is leading the pack with 10.
Yeah.
We're going into 4th printing.
Yep. The 4th is out, I think.
4th is out. I want to say there's going to be a 5th, and then that's it. I think we stop at 5 printings.
Yeah, it seems like a lot, but yeah, I would say 5 or 6 hopefully, and then that's it. And let the market let people have some excitement in the market trying to find the book rather than a new, or do something different with the covers maybe, I don't know.
Well, the thing with the printing now, it's a different era than when we were young. When a 2nd or 3rd printing would come out, those books were considered 2nd place prizes.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
No one cared about them as much, and now people hunt out these second, 3rd printings more so now than they do for these first printings because they're like, oh, they're more scarce than the other ones, and there's some truth to that, of course. But for me, I'm more of a first printing. I want to know that the book that when it first came out, unless it's a hot cover like Venom 3 where you have Null in the cover, maybe there's something to say about that.
Yeah.
So Absolute Batman number 1 is at number 5. Let's take a look at what's number 4. There he is.
Hey.
Jeff is still on the list, guys. Yahoo!
And it's the one I have. Sweet.
It's Jeff the Jefferverse number 1. This book came out in 2023. $25 was the last recorded sale. Fair market value of this book is at $22. However, the 9.8s, we haven't seen an increase of sales for this book just yet. I do think that number is going to change soon. This book is super hot right now. Cover price is at number 8. Sales volume, this book's at 90%. And yes, it is still really hot. Jeff is hot.
People love that little guy.
I've been talking to people a lot about Jeff, and I've been explaining why I personally love it. I think Jeff is a character that's going to transcend for other fans. Fans are that kids, children who love Jeff are going to get into comics because of Jeff, and that is a good thing. I believe anytime you get a new generation into comics, regardless of what kind of comic it is, I do believe it helps the business. So, yes, I love Jeff.
Yeah, and I totally agree. If you can get new people finding a comic book store, a local comic shop, and going in, and they start to find, oh, like, what's that? Where did he first appear? And that person that works there can have that conversation. I think you've got some new customers. So I totally agree.
Let's go ahead and take a look at what's number 3. A book that was number 1 for 2 weeks has finally been dethroned. And that is Ultimate Universe 1 Year in number 1. This is the spoiler variant featuring Ultimate Wolverine in the cover. This book is going for $18 fair market value. 9.8s are already going for $58. But the last recorded sale of this book was $9. It was number 7 in CBSI, as well as cover price. And similar to Batman, Absolute Batman, the sales volume of this book is extremely high at 262%. That means this hype level is high for this book's sale.
Yeah, I think we're in the eye of the storm almost now with this book. It's just the kind of the build for Ultimate Wolverine coming out, and I'm not sure what week it releases in January, but it's all building towards that. And if that book is good and strong and draws people in, then this book is just going to keep going up.
I agree. And what's great is the strategy, right? Let's build anticipation. And that's what this month really is an anticipation for this book that's coming. And the marketplace is they're gearing for it. They're preparing for this opportunity.
Yeah.
Also, because the FOC is out, it's already been ordered.
Yep.
So the FOC is out. So the book's coming very soon, very shortly. That means that this book is going to be hot. So
yep.
There you have
and the other book to watch if you're, an Ultimate Wolverine fan, or you've got this book and you wanted, is that Ultimate X-Men book. I think it's number 6 or number 8.
Number 6. Yeah, it's number
6. That's the one that's kind of no one's really paying attention to that much yet. And that book you can probably still get for cover price.
That's one of those books that I have to say you have to you have to be cautious about that book, because there is an image of someone in the background in the last page that's just hanging there in the shape of an X, similar to the Uncanny homage, and people think it's him, but we're not certain it's him.
Yep.
So it hasn't been revealed just yet. Ultimate Universe, 1 year in, number 1. In number 3, let's go ahead and take a look at what's our next book at number 2. Superman 680. This book came out in 2008 for DC Comics. This book has a fair market value of $28. 9.8 is going for $125. Someone picked this book up for $35. Pretty good, not bad. Number 1 on CBSI, number 3 in cover price. The sales volume is 77%. Hype level is high.
Yeah, with that trailer dropping, everybody's talking about Krypto now, and this is a easier book to pick up than his Silver Age type of appearance.
What's to say about Krypto? It's been a week since the trailer's been out, and he's still hot. In fact, even though it's not on this trending list, there are many books featuring Krypto that are making the list. So be on the lookout for those books. There's another Superman book that's there. His first appearance, I guess it's too much for certain people, but the books that came out in the early 2000s are the ones that people have been tracking down and picking up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just easier. I think those ones are more obtainable for most everybody that's going into a shop, and the other ones are a little bit more difficult, that's for sure.
This one's hot because of Alex Ross. I'm sure it has to do with the Alex Ross effect.
Yeah.
It's now time for our number 1 book of the week. Last week, it was Ultimate Universe, 1 year in. This week is Return of the Living Dead, number 1. You can say the book of 2025 right now. It's number 3 in CBSI. It's number 1 in cover price. The book is already selling at $13 on eBay. I don't get it. And people are already pre-ordering for 9.8s at $60.
It's crazy. I was telling you before this started, I called my shop when I saw this, and I'm like, hey, did you guys order this Return of the Living Dead? And I sent a picture of the cover, and I just got, ha, 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 ha. Yeah, right.
So I remember doing something similar for that about a year or two ago. For a book. I think it was the first appearance of Spider-Boy. And I called the shop, and I ended up talking to the owner, and the owner did the same thing. He says, if you mention that book, I'm hanging up. And I said, well, do you have this book? And he said, click. This book comes out from American Mythology Production, so it's an indie book. It's as indie gets, guys.
we've seen some DC covers from Spears, and where I thought there was going to be a little bit more hype around them, there's been a couple like the Ratio one, but it's really these independent horror covers that seem to be where the market is drawn to. It's very interesting.
I agree. And Return of the Living Dead, Night of the Living Dead, that franchise is one that people love.
Yeah.
And you throw in Mark Spears to that, you got instant FOMO. It's number one right now. It is the hottest book of the week. That's a big deal. That means there's this white hot demand for Mark Spears covers. And I agree with you. I think it has to be a marriage of horror as well as Mark Spears in order for it to get that seal of approval or something like that people say, I need this book now. This book is probably drastically underprinted.
Yes. I'm going to go on record now and say this will be number one next week too. That's my guess.
It's unless some main man shows up.
Yeah. Yes, that could be. I'll put him at number 2.
So I think there will be a battle between this book and Omega Men 3. We will see Omega Men 3 in this list. It's almost guaranteed that it'll be on the list.
Yeah.
Especially now that the announcement has been made that Jason Momoa will be playing Lobo in the Supergirl movie that's coming out, which it's going to be interesting. How much screen time is he going to actually have in that movie? That's what my curiosity is going to be for that movie. There you have it, guys. Anyway, there's the list. Number 1, Return of the Living Dead by American Mythology Productions, a book that if you're lucky enough, go to your comic book shop. So we'll see you guys there. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more comic content. Check out these other videos for even more insight, and I'll see you at the next one. Excelsior.